Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with My Hero Academia. Last time on My Hero Academia, we had everyone's internships. We took a look around at everyone's internships. Bakugo was with Best Jeanist on patrol, and Best Jeanist definitely had his work cut out for him, which is multiple jokes. He has a lot of work to do when it comes to helping Bakugo become a true pro hero, with the temperament of a pro hero. We mainly focused on, in the latter half of the episode, we focused on Froppy, Asui, Sue, all of her names. Her internship with the aquatic hero Selkie, and his sidekick Sirius. And, they stopped some bad guys, which was pretty cool. And, that was pretty much that. It was really great all around. This is where I say no spoilers in the comments whatsoever. This is also where I say that if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of My Hero Academia, it is unfortunately not in this video due to copyright issues that I've had in the past. So what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment on this video, and there will be a link there, which will take you to my reaction highlight, where the footage is in the corner. It's all edited nice and good. And you can watch that. You can hopefully have a good time. When you're done with that, you can pop right back over here for the discussion. So with that being said, we might as well get right into this episode of My Hero Academia. Here we go. He won't admit what happened to his predecessor. I suppose we don't know the whole details. We don't know all the details about it, but we did hear 2 episodes back from the phone call that All for One was the one that killed his master, Shimura. Which is why Gran Torino took on All Might as his mentor, you know? So, and we also know that it was All for One that put the hole in All Might's stomach and reverted him, sent him to a weaker form, basically. Man, that was a lot. That was a lot, man. And on top of that, we now have the knowledge that Shigaraki is basically Midoriya. He is the Midoriya to All for One. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh man, we're setting up for season 3. That's the thing, we're setting up for season 3, which I can only, surmise is going to be, All for One. And oh boy. And so I don't know how much this is going to continue this season. Because, we have the buildup of, okay, we're preparing for the final exams, and we're getting ready for summer camp, apparently. So I don't know how much we're really going to get All for One for the rest of this season. There's 5 more episodes left of this season, so I don't know. But man, we are setting up something major, which, I mean, is all tying in, you know? It's all tying in because season 1, you know, we had Deku gain this power, and then the overall villain was Shigaraki. And Nomu, technically. And then season 2, we keep going with Midoriya becoming the successor, and then we start building up Hero Killer Stain, who is also part of the plan, yo. And now we are leading straight into our main villain now, All for One. Oh boy. It's getting intense, man. It's definitely getting intense. We should head on into the notes. The first thing I wrote down was Gran Torino Pro. So, Gran Torino did mention that the reason that he became a pro hero was honestly not to be a pro hero, but it was to mentor All Might. That was the thing. Which is the same as his teaching license. He said a few episodes ago that the only reason he got his teaching license was so that he could train, you know, he could work at UA and train All Might because Shimura was dead. So that's interesting, I have to say. Because he is pretty good, but he didn't do much as a pro hero when he was younger. So that was interesting. He mainly just did it because he did have training. He had a really good quirk, and he needed to be able to use his quirk to train All Might. So, interesting. I do like the... I do like the backstory we're getting on Gran Torino. You know, pretty much everything that he did was for All Might, basically, to train All Might. So, the next thing I wrote down was Ida. He's getting back to who he was. He's definitely getting back to who he used to be, which is good. Because, I mean, that's the interesting thing with Ida, because when we first met Ida, he was all serious, you know, and that was back when... the timer on my camera just restarted. It now says we've only been recording for 1 minute. However, I do know that my camera does that sometimes. So we should have been still recording. Because this happened once before, and I panicked, but everything was okay. So I'm going to assume everything is okay now. God, I hope so. Anyway, so... You know, he was all serious back then, and then he became kind of goofier, you know. I guess technically he was still serious, but they were playing it more comedically. And then, with all the hero killer stuff, it was very, very serious and dark. And then now we're sort of back to who he was, you know. We're back to his, you know, sort of goofy, serious class rep phase. So, I'm glad. I'm glad Ida's sort of back to where he was, you know? I wrote down Gamma, the field Gamma, where they had this race. I thought that was pretty cool. And I love, because they really build up, you know? They really build up, you know, everyone being like, oh, well, Midoriya, he's not gonna do much, because Midoriya's not gonna do much, because, you know, he can't really use his quirk without, you know, breaking his bones. And then just all this build up, and, you know, Bakugo being like, he's gonna come in last, you know? And then just to see him swoop by now that he's got full cowling going, that is just so amazing, you know? It's like, honestly, of all of them, he got the most progress out of, like, he got the most out of his internship, you know? Because even, like, you know, Ida didn't. Even Todoroki, like, I'm pretty sure he came around to his fireside before that, you know? Like, I think of all of them, Midoriya got the most out of his internship. And, maybe Sue and Jiro, because they fought villains and stuff. So yeah. And, well, actually, you know who else got a lot out of her internship? Uraraka. Because she, man, the gunhead did a number on her. That sounds wrong. Ugh. Anyway, but yeah, she definitely did, get a lot out of it, So, which, by the way, okay, I was just thinking about this. We're a little off topic. Well, no, actually, we're next topic. So, final exams are coming up. Final exams are coming up, and they said that after final exams is a 1 month break for summer. Summer break is coming up. How much time has passed? Because it's only been a month since the attack on the USJ. So, yeah, I don't know how much time has passed. Yeah, when did we start? Like, when did the semester start, basically? Like, I thought they said it was in April, but I don't know anymore, man. Although, maybe they take their summer break in August. I don't know. I don't know how Japan schools work. Help me out with that in the comments, guys, because I don't know. But yeah, final exams are coming up, which is pretty interesting. I'll be curious to see what that is. What kind of final exam do you have in a hero school? They've already fought each other. We can't do fighting each other again because that was the tournament, So, I don't know. I have no idea what the final exams would be. I'm very interested, though. The next thing I wrote down was Mineta. So, first of all, him saying, all women are demons and they just hide it behind a pretty face. It's like, whoa. Whoa there, buddy. And I like Kaminari being like, what did Mount Lady do to you? Because, yeah, we didn't see a lot. We just saw, him vacuuming and her just, being lazy, basically. But, yeah, I don't know. Mineta is so ridiculous. I kind of like him. I know, guys. I know there was a lot of hate for Mineta in the fandom, I suppose, but there's just something so ridiculous about him that it's... I will be honest, he's kind of funny. And that scene in the locker room... Oh my gosh, I gotta hear this again. I gotta play this again. Let me fast forward. Okay, there it is. Someone Shawshanked a hole in this wall.
A previous generation has given us a gift. You know what's next door, right? This looks into the girls' locker room. Don't even think about it.
I love Ida being the good man, He's losing it. His curves. Ooh. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
We'll close up this hole immediately. Why am I the only one he didn't say anything about?
Poor Jiro. Well, Jiro, I think you cut him off. I think that was the problem. Oh man, I feel bad. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, that's a weird situation. Why didn't the pervert say anything about me? Like, that's a weird situation to like, find yourself in, I will admit. To be fair, though, I think it's just that you cut him off before he could say anything, I don't know. Man, he was so specific. Well, he was specific about some things. Can I take it back? Just his level of confidence is so ridiculous. Yayorozu's curves. Slender waist. Floating... The floating underwear is like... What are you gonna get out of that, man? I don't know. Uraraka's super fine body. Asui's unexpectedly That's so specific. It's so bad. Oh my gosh. And then, yeah, just jabbed right in his eye. Oh my gosh. It's so ridiculous, man. So ridiculous. Oh my gosh. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. He's so dumb. I don't know, man. It's funny to me, but I don't know. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I evidently I paused right when it showed all of them. Maybe I'll just scooch on. Don't get distracted. Anyway. And then we had the big conversation with All Might. So, let's power through some of this stuff. First thing about this conversation is intention. So, he did clear up that someone can't forcibly take one for all. Excuse me. Someone cannot forcibly take one for all. Which Midoriya was not concerned about. But at least that's cleared up, you know? Because that's always been the thing. And even if, I imagine, like, even if it can't be forcibly taken, the reason the secret is kept is because if a villain realized that one for all could be passed on, they might try to take it anyway, you know? So, it has to be the person's intention. Now, I like that you can forcibly give one for all, which is very interesting. You can force it on someone, but someone cannot forcibly take it. Someone cannot take away one for all without, basically without your permission. So that was very interesting, an interesting little detail they cleared up. And I like, you know, the analogy of the girl, like, forcibly giving All Might the chocolate and then running away. And it's like, what kind of analogy is that? So, that was funny. Next thing I wrote down, let's get on to the biggies. All for One. One of the first people to have quirks, which, that's the thing. So, we got a bit of details on what it was like in the past, you know? When quirks started to emerge. Honestly, sounds like it sounds like it was a lot more like X-Men, where, you know, because with all those signs that they were holding up, let me see.
You can steal powers. This was back possible to say what it meant to be a normal person.
Yeah. Protect humans. Humanity's crisis, give people peace of mind, get out, exile them. Yeah, this is sounding very X-Men. So that's interesting. You know, we get a bit of lore on all this because we don't hear a lot about, you know, when quirks first emerged. So yeah, that's all very interesting. So it is kind of like X-Men when it all showed up, but now we're at a point where quirks are the normal now. You know, 80% of the population has a quirk. Yeah. Civilization's progress stalled.
Society decayed.
Ooh.
If superpowers had never appeared, then humans would be taking interstellar holidays by this point.
That's another interesting point he makes. So, progress slowed because of the introduction of quirks. Otherwise, science would have kept advancing and we would have gone interstellar. An interesting way of putting that, because another thing about this show is that it seems like, you know, let's say this was 200 years ago. I think they've said that. It was about 200 years ago when quirks first emerged. That still looks like the modern day they show. But, you know, for us, 200 years ago was the 1800s. So, you know, we don't have a bunch of mustachioed gentlemen being like, I can explode my hands, you know? Like, none of that. It's all still very modern, I guess, contemporary. in the flashbacks they show on this show. So that is the explanation. Progress was stalled. So they should be a lot farther in the future, but it's basically like the world paused. Everything stopped while quirks began to evolve. Quirks began to progress. Very interesting. And in all of that, there was one man, the first, what sounds like the first villain, All for One. He named himself after his quirk, and he could take quirks and either keep them himself or pass his quirks on to others. Very interesting. And what happened was, he had a brother, a sickly younger brother, and he passed on a quirkless brother, and he passed on a quirk that would stockpile power, basically. It gave him the quirk to stockpile power. That's when he realized he did have a quirk, being that he can pass on his quirk. And through that, the two quirks merged into One for All. Very interesting. So it basically became All for One's opposite. And that's the thing. All Might did say that All for One's younger brother, the first user of One for All, he was a good person. He always, what did he say? It was, about justice and everything. Yeah. Which, by the way, that younger brother, he's got the long hair and the face, with All for One's hand being placed on his younger brother's head. He looks exactly like Shigaraki, which now starts to explain Shigaraki's whole look,
Don't tell me. Yes. Even though everyone thought he was quirkless, turns out the brother did have a quirk. Though even he hadn't realized this to be the case. He had a useless power.
Yeah.
Only allowed him to pass on quirks. And so the stockpiling ability merged with the younger brother's power.
Yeah.
And that is how One for All came to be. I've always found it ironic that justice so often spawns from evil.
Yeah.
Hold on! I understand how One for All
Now.
power.
Ugh, no moves. Come on, load.
Meanwhile, some quirks actually evolved as they were passed on. Some even combined with other power sets.
Yeah.
This evil man had a quirkless younger brother. He was small and sickly, but he had a strong sense of justice.
Strong sense of justice.
More different.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
Pained the brother to see All for One's deeds, so he kept resisting him.
Yeah.
And then, All for One transferred a quirk to his sibling, one that would allow him to stockpile power.
Yeah. So he was able to stockpile power to basically, he was trying to help his younger brother, and that, along with the ability to pass on a quirk, merged into One for All. And it was his brother's sense of justice that allowed One for All to become the power of a hero, basically. Then, passing through generations, passing on to different heroes in order to keep the world safe, keep the world safe from the evil of All for One, until eventually the power made its way to All Might, who, as far as he knew, defeated All for One, or at least he thought. So that is the origin of One for All, and how it came from All for One. Oh boy, that is pretty crazy, I have to say. But we still don't have the full story. We still don't have the full story because All Might has still not said anything about how it really relates to him, and what happened with Shimura. So, and apparently, he thinks that he will not be there for Midoriya, and Midoriya will have to face All For One alone. Whew, that is terrifying, actually, because, he's still working on just using 5% of his power. He's not ready to face a villain like that. So, let's see. Yeah, that's all crazy. The next thing I wrote down was camp. We're going to have a summer camp, which is interesting. The entire class is going on summer camp, should they all pass the final exam. It makes me wonder, is there going to be one who doesn't pass? Maybe Mineta. I don't know. But yeah, we're all going to go on summer camp after the exam. So yeah, that's interesting. And then the last thing I wrote down is Shigaraki. Shigaraki is basically what Deku is to All Might. He is going to be the successor of All For One. And that is pretty risky. Even the doctor said, that is the child ready, Maybe. I don't know. We're going to need to get a bit more on All For One before I can really say, but oh boy. It's all crazy. We got a whole lot in this episode. A lot of plot dump, a lot of lore dump, which is pretty good. And yeah, I am excited. I love this show so much, This show is so amazing, and I want to know more, man. I want to know what happened to the seventh holder. I want to know everything. But I get the feeling that the next 5 episodes are all going to be based on the final exam, which is great. And I'm curious to see where we're going from here and from there. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of My Hero Academia reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.